Welcome you guys to the Female Esports League Elite Qualifier. I am Kiora, here with Hyron.
Gonna be this has so much fight against other all and so far, Kiora.
Um, Feeling pretty good. It's like really exciting to watch as a former player, a former competitor in an actual female league as well. I used to compete in a female league, so I know what it feels like to go through the motions of playing in this sort of environment. So I think it's going to be really exciting to watch and cast this tournament.
Yeah, especially being a caster seat, looking at games, it's so different than when you're playing. The feeling,
Right.
the excitement. But of course, a lot of the times all these tournaments are in an amateur setting. Not everyone knows each other. Not everyone is popular or well known.
Right.
So with that in mind, like when you were participating in these all female tournaments, how did your team? What's the mindset going into these games, especially the first game of the tournament?
Well, for the tournaments that I used to go to, they used to compete in, we kind of actually knew some of the teams that were in the league. So it's quite different since in this league we don't really know much about the players or the competitors that are going to be competing in this qualifiers. So the strategies that we used basically were just to keep an eye out on the people that we did know, to ban out the people that we did know, the really good players that have like a small champion pool. We try to ban them out, and then if we didn't know the team that we were going against, we would just on site we would search them up and then look at their rank, look at their champion pools, look at their most used champions, and then try to go and ban those out if we needed to.
So a lot of quick wits, a lot of tried and tested strategies,
Right.
and definitely a lot of research involved as well. As for these players in this tournament right now for our qualifiers, some of them may know each other. Some of them may have even practiced with each other.
Yeah, some may even like be playing against each other in solo queue, something like that.
So there's definitely that bit where some of these players are relatively unknown, but some of them do know each other.
Right.
They have that familiarity of that sense of community as well, and that friendly competition between these teams, between these players. Gonna be quite exciting to see once we actually load into the games.
Right. So, as I said before, we were talking about the tournament. This is going to be a double elimination tournament format. So, basically, we're going to have a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. And at the end of the brackets, the winner's bracket champion and the loser's bracket champion will go against each other in a clean best of 3. So that nobody needs to be twice to beat, nobody needs to be having an advantage over the other.
Yeah, it's basically all or nothing for that final best of 3. And as you can see, we have our teams listed here in the brackets on your screen right now. This is a lot of teams, and imagine like 5 players each team, maybe 1 or 2 subs. That is a lot of people
Yeah,
in
that
one
is a lot of
venue,
people.
and that's definitely fun. There's that sense of community,
Sense of camaraderie.
so maybe a little bit of banter before the game start. And we're gonna be casting, since there's so many games that are happening, and we only have so much time on the broadcast. We're only gonna be able to show you one match for each batch, and I think we'll be loading into Team X versus Team Eskinol
Yes.
very, very soon, so watch out for that. We have a few familiar faces in the community there playing in that match very, very soon. They're almost ready in the lobbies, and it's going to be quite exciting, quite intriguing to see how they're going to go here. So we are actually And the pick and ban.
So yeah, we have the pick and bans going down right now, and for Team X, we're having a Maokai ban. So what do you think of that first ban going down right there?
First ban. Very common to see that Maokai being banned out, but the Vayne being banned out as well with a recent buffs in 9.1.
You too will be judged.
Maokai. It might be a target ban to either Ice Cream or Nuggets, possibly on Ice Cream. Ice Cream. The Morgana ban as well as the Gnar.
I think these bans are pretty targeted since they banned out that Gnar with Suzy Sword being either the top lane or maybe even the jungle. So I know this very familiar face, Suzy Sword. We are friends actually. So like with Suzy Sword, she's a really great top laner. One of her favorite champions is Gnar. So that would be a target ban on Suzy Sword if ever.
We're not quite sure just yet if she don't have that signature top lane of hers, or she might be trying out jungle. But it seems like she will go top lane based on Lowest Gaming's summer spell here. Colette banned out against the top laner of Eskinol, so definitely just trying to make sure that Suzy Sword gets a very good matchup. And the Lucian banned out against Team X here, very very strong in this meta. Even in 9.1, nothing much has changed for him, and it's still very very strong.
So yeah, you guys, are we on 9.1 actually? Since
I believe so. Yeah, we are.
Okay, so we are on 9.1, you guys. The update was sent out already, and we actually have a Saya or a Kaisa being hovered, Saya being locked in. I think that's a pretty good pick, along with the Rakan. Nice classic love duo.
So yeah, signature combination here coming in from Eskinol. Lots of power coming in from there, especially with the recent small buff onto Saya's root duration for her Blade Caller. As for Team X, I feel like they're really throwing out a lot of information to Eskinol by picking up the Tristana first, because that's giving Eskinol a lot of ideas already. They want to have this hyper carry. And the Nami as well, very very safe pick on the support. I haven't seen her quite a lot in competitive, say in Kespa Cup from Korea, and even in the Brazilian qualifiers, but we'll see how this goes. Zach locked in here, possibly for Lowest Gaming in the jungle.
Right, so actually the Nami pick is very rare, since most of the time in the pro leagues they would be picking tank supports, with the exception of Rakan, since he's not really that much of a tank.
Basically a lot of initiation and peel.
Lots of initiation and peel for the supports last season and for the last tournaments that we have seen in the pro scene. And right now we're going to be having Kennen locked in while we're going into the second phase of the banning phase.
It could go top lane. There's a chance it might go mid lane, but I feel like Eskinol's team composition is already solidifying with this Kennen pick, along with the Rakan. Irelia banned out against Team X. Let's see how they'll respond to that. Seems like very powerful, very standard ban here. Lissandra as well.
Okay. Very standard bannings for right now. Lissandra ban and an Aurelia ban. Those two very reliable, very powerful picks, potentially if they are played.
They can be flexed as well,
Yeah,
top
they can
lane,
be
mid lane. Lots of versatility. Ryze. So lots of these powerful picks coming from 8.24 as well as 9.1. The Graves, so a little bit of against the jungler here for Eskinol.
Yeah, really targeting the jungler right now. And let's see what the picks are going to be next, as Aquaria hovers on that Nocturne and might be locking it in. Let's see, locking in the Nocturne against that Zach. What do you think about that jungle matchup?
Like
Hiron.
But definitely the gank potential from Zach is so much more pre-level 6.
Right.
Has so much range, so many possible gank paths with how that Elastic Slingshot. The Elastic Slingshot can be quite a useful gank tool. But that Nocturne, once he reaches level 6, it's definitely going to be scary. Imagine all these picks coming from Eskinol. They have the Kennen, they have the Rakan. Imagine the level 6 power spikes. Going to be absolutely terrifying. But Team X seems like they might lock in the Mundo here and the Orianna for their own compositions.
Right. So let's see, with Eskinol actually hovering on the brand right now, I think it's going to be a Kennen top, a brand mid, and then an Orianna mid versus Kennen, and then Dr. Mundo at the top lane. So interesting. If they want to do the Dr. Mundo versus the Kennen, they're both manaless. So, or no, Dr. Mundo is not manaless, is he? Oh wait,
yes,
he is.
So,
Forgot
but,
right
yeah,
there for a
but
moment.
it's definitely the range advantage onto that Kennen if that does go top lane. But Suzy Sor, I have seen her play a lot of Dr. Mundo as well. So she might know, she probably knows how to handle range versus melee matchups at the top lane. She's had years of experience and practice to back that up. So it seems like they will go for the top lane Kennen with a mid lane brand. Not quite in order for the teams, but that's fine. We do know exactly where these guys are going, just based on their summer spells and just the champion picks.
Right. So it seems like Team X is going for a more tanky, team composition, a more well-rounded sort of team composition, rather than Eskinol, who is going for a little bit more of a glass cannon sort of.
Just going hard.
Yeah, just going hard, just dive and kill, basically.
Yeah. They both really want team fights here.
Yes.
Team fights are very strong for both compositions, but Team X has a more well-rounded composition. They have good disengaged, they have good tankiness, a good front line. But Eskinol, if they catch Team X off guard and just straight up dive in there with their picks, with all the CC that and the stickiness of their composition, they can easily take out Yaya here. And just wreak havoc throughout Team X.
Right. So since we're in the spectators delay right now, we have to say that we're going to be going into the little break.
Yeah,
we're going to take a short break as we go into Summoner's Rift shortly. So yeah, see you guys.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Female Esports League Elite Philippines qualifiers, and we're just about to load into our game. The first game for today, Team X versus Team Eskinol. They're just fixing up their settings, the last few finishing touches. I know everyone that's been to a tournament knows this feeling, going to a different venue, going to a different computer, and then having to fix all of your settings. So definitely not new. Especially at this level of play.
Right. So basically what's just going on right now is everybody's in the venue. They're just going to be fixing up their settings. They're just going to be getting ready to play. And it seems like the pause is over. So let's get into the game.
All right. Let's see how Team X and Team Eskinol play this level 1 here. Might just be regular lines of scrimmage, but Eskinol, just from their composition, it looks like they want to go for something big.
Team Eskinol actually grouping up together. They might seem to want to go in for some vision, or maybe even invade, or just maybe they're just going to be going and guarding their jungle.
Just seeing if they can catch someone off guard, get a free kill early, which will really help in the flow of the power spikes of this team composition they have. They're gonna get spotted out here. At least the Jen here seems like he will just get out of there, but the rest of the 4 members of Team Eskinol just sticking around, seeing if Team X wants to go for anything at the bottom side of the jungle. It doesn't seem like Team X knew that they were all bunched up together around that side, so they could have taken that opportunity to get early deep vision just to see where Baobei might be starting, but it seems like both of them will be starting around the bot side of the map.
So some wards going down into the jungle right there at the top side, and some pings going down in the jungle for the blue side at the bottom lane at the red buff. I think to mark the pathing of Zac right now. So basically right now they're just going to get their leashes done. They're going to gather around the top lane if they go to their respective paths. And let's see what's going to be going on, what's going to be happening.
It's going to be quite important for these junglers to communicate with their team on where the opposing jungler might be There is that small ward there behind the red buff. I don't think it can quite catch out the Raptors, but if they do, I think they both have an idea on where Baobei and Lowest Gaming are, so they just have to keep watch on their possible jungler routing. Could be an early gank here come from Lowest, but it doesn't seem like Aquaria is making herself vulnerable here.
Right. So basically just, you know, good League of Legends right now. An attempted gank coming from Lewis Gaming, but nothing really going down right there since Brand was too far away, since Aquaria was too far away. The Zac, Lewis Gaming, is going to get the Scuttler Crab, I think, or I think they see it. I think they see her, or no. Yeah, they see her.
Yeah, they do see her.
They see her taking the Scuttler Crab, probably knowing where she is right now. They're going to be pinging on that top lane right there.
Yeah, Jen needs to be very careful here. That Zac can gank from very, very far angles here, but it seems like an early use of a flash here come from Jen to be safe. Could go for a repeat gank. That is a possibility for this Zac right here.
Right. So we have some vision down in the river. Their Baobei hasn't been spotted out yet so far, so no information going out to Team X right now for where their jungler is. So I think that's pretty good for Eskinol right now, since Lois Gaming actually showed herself during that gank, and Baobei can take that information from that gank.
Just try and make sure. I think right now Baobei is just focusing on getting as many jungle camps as possible, get as much experience as possible to rush towards that level 6, because that's really when the Nocturne jungle shines.
Right.
Especially with how the rest of Eskinol has drafted their composition here. Seems like Lowest Gaming. I think she and Jen see each other. It doesn't seem like they can materialize it into a pincer attack with Suzy Sor. So right now, everyone's just calm. The matchups are going as expected. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, nothing really out of the ordinary so far. The matchups being very, very, very sort of a little bit predictable. The Cannon versus the Orianna, not too much of a big CS discrepancy right now. The Mundo versus the
Mundo
Brand.
versus
Mundo versus Brand, and Orianna versus
it's Cannon versus
Mundo versus
Cannon versus
and Orianna
Mundo.
versus. It's so out of order.
Yeah. It's
Sorry.
fine. It's fine, you know. But looking into this place, really, it's all about Eskinol. If Baobei can get that level 6 gank, just really rush that level 6, it could pivot to even bigger advantages here for Eskinol. Because right now, Team X is very, very safe. Suzy Sor, quite sustainable. It doesn't seem like Untitled. Ooh, he might go for more against Aquaria here. She is very, very low on mana as well. Does not have the Ignite, so she has to watch out for that. It seems like Lois wants to go for something against Aquaria, but it seems like that gank just fizzles out. Flash though.
Yeah, getting the flash. That was very important for them to get the flash, so that maybe Zac, Lewis Gaming can come back around and get another gank on her.
That's really up to Lowest Gaming, however, and how she communicates with her laners. Ooh, Baobei might be catching her with a Duskbringer. Yeah, might be around to go for the assist here. Maybe Baobei has bitten off more than she could chew, but it seems like she just gets out just fine with the help of Master Nuggets.
Right. So they're fighting over the Scuttler Crab right now.
Yeah, really important control.
With Team X getting the Scuttler Crab for that sight on the dragon coming up. I mean, the dragon up right now. So yeah, very, very fun team play right now with the responses being very quick to respond. Very impressive gameplay.
Yeah, so far both of these teams, they want to make sure that especially their junglers, are as safe as possible. Lois wants to find more chances at ganking, and like I said, because she burned the flash of Jen and Aquaria minutes earlier, that doesn't mean anything if she can't get a repeat gank on them. And it seems like Suzusaur having a little bit of trouble right now. Quite equal in terms of CS, but definitely getting chunked down, getting pushed in. Burning that ultimate there just to regen a lot of health here. Is really trying to survive in this lane until Lois can turn the tides.
Right. So Lois Gaming getting a little bit low here at the red buff, but no worries. The Nami Janelle is there to heal.
Quite close.
Quite close, actually. Yeah, very quite close. Untitled and Aquaria fighting it out in the mid lane. Nothing too serious. Nothing too scary, too different. You know, just exchanging blows, all that sort of thing.
Has to watch out though. Goes for the shockwave, will hit, but Aquaria is dealing a lot of damage. She burns the ignite, however, Untitled dealing lots of damage, flashes out of the pyroclasm, and oh man, does not materialize into a kill as Aquaria outplays and gets first blood.
Wow, that was an amazing play coming out from Aquaria right there. Untitled actually missing the Q onto Brand. That might be a little bit off might be a little misclick right there. But yeah, Aquaria getting that first kill, that first blood.
And then that first kill is crucial for Brand here because Aquaria, she wants to get as many kills as possible early game so she becomes a team fighting threat here. Lois trying to go for a gank here. Does get the elastic slingshot. Could possibly get a kidnap onto Master Nuggets. That's a kill onto Lois. Could not give it off to Yaya, but that is still a lead for the bot lane of Team X.
Right. So actually the Zac pulled back the Rakan, and Janelle actually missed her bubble, but that didn't matter. So they still got the kill onto Master Nuggets.
Yeah, really the power of the Rakan plus the Zac. Lots of ganking routes. Could possibly get even more, but seems like right now this mid laner Untitled not phased at all from the earlier death. Seems like she does have backup from Lois, but Aquaria really playing quite safe here. Baobei is level 6. She can use her paranoia to try and respond to any of these ganks. Seems like they're looking to get on this top side. Lots of pings coming in for Jen. Seems like she gets the idea. Cannot be too complacent pushing in onto Suzusaur. But seems like Eskinol with the movements able to... tries to go for a shockwave onto Baobei, only getting one. That's a huge ultimate down for Team X.
For Team X, yeah, quite a big ultimate down for Team X, since that is one of their key ultimates that they will be needing to use for fights. They might actually have a team fight that could materialize right now, so if ever they choose to have a team fight, and Oriana, if Untitled doesn't have her ult up, then sayang naman.
Definitely, they want that to always be up, and I think Untitled is got a little greedy there. She wants to be able to match the one kill that Aquaria was able to get from her.
Right.
But however, that was quite a bizarre shockwave. There was no one else nearby to actually follow up on that shockwave. So, and she didn't have enough items to like one-shot Gib Baobei there. But it seems like Eskinol so far won't be exploiting that lack of ultimate coming in from Untitled too soon.
So yeah, both Oriana and Brand having their lost chapter right there. Just,
Ooh, Lois going for a gank here with stretching strikes to keep Jen in place in the range of the turret. Beautiful stretching strikes there, keeping him in place, and that's an easy kill there. Another one for Lois.
Lois 2-0 right now, really showing out in the jungle, having a really good time right now. Like, just those ganks have been pretty successful. Very good ganks, very good plays. Lois really just showing her best.
Yeah, really lots of potential for these ganks, even more kill participation for Lois, because Zac is so crucial to the early game of Team X Yeah, he wants to. She wants to make sure that Sudisor is up and running, can split and be able to split push effectively. And I think she really wants to gank Yaya as well, just to accelerate that power spike for that Tristana. As for Baobei, she's yet to use that paranoia for a huge gank here. Master Nuggets could be catching off Lowest Gaming. Baobei going for the fear onto the jungler here, but seems like the rest of the bot lane of Team X looking for revenge. Yaya gets a kill, gets another against the support as well, and seems like that did not go well at all for Eskinol.
It seemed like Lewis Gaming Team X could have lost that, but the ultimate from Nami was a really good team fight changer right there, as she knocked them up and really just stunned them in their place.
I guess you could say that Janelle turned the tide of that fight right there. But yeah, like I think they tunnel visioned too much onto Lowest Gaming. They wanted to take her down so fast that they didn't notice that Yaya and Janelle can dish out so much damage in CC in such a short time. So Eskinol pays the price there. 2 kills onto Yaya. That's not something that they want on this hyper carry.
True. Not something that they want for Tristana, being that she's super scary and just being a hyper carry as well. It's just so it's so worrying that you give her 2 kills in the early game at 13 minutes.
It's gonna be already building up into one of her big items here. She has studied the blade while Eskinol was giving her these 2 kills and an assist from the earlier gank. It seems like Team X at this point, they're in a very comfortable position. A little bit of a gold lead, 2,000 plus the Cloud Drake. They can possibly materialize this, extend this. They just need to play further down bot side. Yaya, she's already ahead. She's already dealing a lot of damage. They even funneled the red buff onto her, so they can definitely make a lot of plays. Maybe even dive the bot lane of Eskinol.
Right. So she already has her Storm Razors and her boots. She's 2-0-1 and also has a CS lead on Ice Queen.
Yeah, very substantial.
Yeah. So very substantial lead on her right now, and you can tell that she's really ahead by the amount of damage she was able to dish out during that little fight right there.
Yeah, they just need to continue playing around Yaya here, Yaya and Janelle, because they ignite as well on his Nami. They can possibly go for a tower dive. Very good vision there to cover all the exits here. So it seems like Lois tries to go for a delivery on the ball, but it seems like it will fail. But the rest of the squad from Team X still able to finish off the kills with just sheer raw damage, and 2 kills onto Janelle here, just extending the lead of Team X.
So right, what you were saying right earlier about the diving.
Oh man, Baobei not in a good position at all. Can flash away, but he can get slowed down by Lois. Janelle gets another kill for herself here. Yaya's not getting the kills at this point, but it's still experience lead and a little bit of assist gold for them.
So yeah, what you were saying earlier about the diving, you basically predicted what would happen. They chose to dive on the bottom lane of Eskinol Gaming, so yeah.
Definitely and they even got the first stir of the game from that, so just a huge gold lead here for Team X. 15 minutes and you're 4,000 gold ahead. That's pretty good. You're in a pretty good position. You're in the driver's seat. Team X still needs to make sure that Eskinol, and I have not seen Baobei use her paranoia so far at all, her ultimate, to go for a big gank, and that's really wasting the Nocturne pick so far, especially after getting killed twice. The utility of that paranoia is gonna become less and less the more that she goes on without being impactful with it. So Eskinol, they need to step up here because their composition relies so much on being ahead around mid game.
Right. So basically right now just getting the blue buff, yeah, and Baobei getting her red buff, just, you know, pushing out the game right now, just trying to get more towers and trying to get more gold.
Just get that in more farm. But it seems like Team X is ahead of the game here. They're 2 steps ahead of Team Eskinol. Team X's bot lane has already gone to the bot side, but Baobei going for a gank finally here. Paranoia, however, no one else to follow up and gets too close for the stretching strikes. The tidal wave will make sure that Yaya gets another kill here. And Eskinol, they're falling apart. Team X is just ravaging through their lanes here ahead of the rotations, and this will reward them with even more turret gold.
Right. So you see right now it's becoming a pattern where Team X just going in without any hesitation whatsoever, just going in and ripping this team apart, ripping Eskinol apart, just fighting them back without...
Oh man, seems like Aquaria. It might go down, but Untitled seems like she has a habit of going for shockwaves without any immediate follow-ups, but still gets a kill in the end. Very good on her.
Also getting another tower takedown right there at the top lane. Just, you know...
Rift Herald.
Also getting the Rift Herald, probably. More pushing power to them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's just more gold. Extend that 6k gold lead. Team X right now tearing down Eskinol. And like I said, I think it's not just because of Team X's early power spike from the early kills. I think that kill in top lane could have been avoided easily if they just sent more members top lane. If
actually.
Yeah, if Ice Cream and Master Nuggets... yeah, man, it's making me hungry. But yeah, Ice Cream and Chicken Nuggets too. Master Nuggets going for... If they rotated to the top side, swapped with their top laner, they could have at least stopped a little bit of that push from Team X. But that mistake, that misrotation... cost them 2 towers and 2 kills, and Team X getting an Infernal Drake, juicy, especially at this level of play around the amateur stage. Infernal Drake has so much value because it's just raw stats.
Just raw stats, raw power, raw, like, just everything, damage, you know, just everything damage. And so far they also have the Cloud Drake, so that means their rotations are going to be faster than ever, and you know, just with damage and the movement speed that they have with these dragons, they basically have the perfect formula to win this game.
Just no accidents here, no Chemical X, hopefully, from Team X. Just need to make sure that they play this methodically. They are in the driver's seat, but they need to be calm. They need to choose their battles carefully. And so far, they've been able to do that. They've pinpointed where Eskinol is vulnerable, and they jump straight at it. Literally jump at it in Yaya's case.
Right, in Yaya's case. So Yaya right now actually having her items down. 3 items, or 2 items right now. Yeah, while... Ice Cream actually just
finishing up her Storm Razor. Yeah. But that cannon is huge already. That attack speed crit item on Ye is already doing so much for her damage, and they're just knocking on Eskinol's door here with a half health Rift Herald here that's still gonna do substantial damage here, and they're looking to just go for it. Look at that, so much damage every time Ye goes in. Jen gonna try and CC. Untitled is in danger here, but Lois goes in, tanks into damage, and Untitled goes down, but jumps in, however, could be a big mistake, survives with a sliver of health, and now Suzy Sore is in the show, throwing briefcases all around. Aquaria gets snuffed out like a candle. Janelle lives with a sliver of health as well, and the beefy tanks of Team X making sure that Eskinol feels the pain.
My god, that team fight was actually a little bit dragged out there. It was very slow at the start, but once it got to the fight, it was really intense. Just yeah.
And that wasn't even with Suzy Sore. Suzy Sore wasn't at the start of that fight, and she just cleaned that up. And yeah, made a dangerous move, jumping
very dangerous move, jumping right into the faces. I think it was because she got a little bit zoned out by Eskinol, but other than that, it was very risky.
Yeah, very risky. She did survive with a sliver of health from, I believe that was a Triumph triggering, as well as a heal coming from Janelle. So clutch coming in from their support, and this is just continuing to extend their lead. And this is a 9k gold lead. They could turn this into a Baron very, very soon. They just need to establish control over those territories.
Right. So notice earlier that their actual carries died. Team X's Untitled was dead in the middle of 4 members of Eskinol, and Yaya was too low to actually push into the inhibitor of Eskinol. So they still have the inhibitor up, but I think they'll be looking to push now the top turret.
Lots of options here for Team X. Like I said, they're still in the driver's seat. And yeah, like even if Untitled died in that team fight, she was able to do her job at least, get that shockwave out, and basically the rest of Team X was able to clean up just because they have so much gold in their pockets that the raw numbers of their abilities can just carry them through, and just continuing to brute force Eskinol here.
I feel like the ultimate from Oriana came out a bit too early though, since like nobody was really there to fight yet. She should have waited a little bit more for her team to gather up, to group up, so that they could have a proper team fight.
Oh man, they know exactly where all 5 members of Eskinol are, so Team X are using his opportunity. Suzy Sor is knocking on that bottom lane inhibitor turret, and this could be an opportunity for Team X to go in with Lois. Could not catch anyone with Elastic Slingshot, but that does, importantly, delay the recalls.
Actually, the Kennen was able to recall back there, and I don't think Suzy Sor is going to be able to finish off that bottom lane turret, but now Team X going for that Baron.
Pressure on Eskinol right now. They have to make a move. It seems like all their pings are on Baron. They know that something is happening. Team X pulls away from that Baron for now, making sure Eskinol does not catch them off guard, but it seems like they will continue as Suzy Sor is still pushing, pressuring that bot lane, making Eskinol's decisions difficult. Already Baobei at half health. If she dives into this Baron, it seems like Lois is 2 steps ahead of them, gonna try and get over there with Suzy Sor, just to zone them out as Yea is still continuing this Baron, finishing this up. What can Eskinol do? They cannot steal this away. Very well played from Team X.
Very well played, but also very a little bit messy. Looking at that team fight right there, since I think Lewis shouldn't have left the pit, since Yea almost kind of died towards for that Baron. She almost died right there, along with Janelle. They both were very, very low towards the end of that Baron, and I don't think they should have left the Baron pit that much, since Untitled and actually, Untitled was doing her job naman.
Of zoning away members of Eskinol. And that was their smite too. If Baobei realized, oh, okay, Lois is out of the pit, maybe I can paranoia onto someone and then get a steal. That was very risky from Team X, and I think just Suzy Sor's teleport would have been enough to scare away members of Eskinol.
Because I saw the teleport coming in and I was like, why is she
why is she getting out of here? So, but still, Team X, they get their Baron, they get their spoils. They can go for a power push onto any of these lanes. It seems like they're just gathering around mid lane here, mustering their forces. They want to take down that inhibitor and open up the rest of Eskinol's base.
Right. So they might be going up to the top lane now, actually. Ping's going down for the mid lane inhibitor, and they're just clearing out some wards, some vision, taking over the jungle, actually, of Eskinol. And so they're just going to be going for that top lane right now, going to be taking down that top lane turret. Let's see if a fight materializes.
Team X has so much potential to dive this, and Eskinol, they've just been getting stomped in these team fights, and I think because they weren't able to play the early game of their composition here, this composition relies on being able to roll over Team X's in the team fights and get Yea immediately. But now that Yea deals so much damage, and Lois and Suzy Sor can disrupt them so much, and Janelle can just stop their roll short, it seems like it's very, very difficult for Eskinol to make anything happen in their favor.
Right. Since they're also really, really far behind with the teams at a 14-2 difference in kills, and the goal discrepancy is not that big. It's just 10k, but I think that is pretty big for this game.
Yeah, especially in 25 minutes.
Yes.
That is pretty substantial. That is at least 2 big items worth for Team X in total. And right now, 3 inhibitors down. That's basically 3 nails in the coffin here for Eskinol for this game 1. Seems like Jen wants to make something happen. The rest of his team is not there to try and follow up, and he loses a lot of a lot of health in exchange. Nuggets tries to go in for the assist. However, Baobei jumps in to her own death, and TMX is just decimating Eskinol left and right. It seems like they will go for the Nexus turrets next, and they will knock onto this big crystal. This Nexus, they will take away game 1 for today. Team X against Eskinol.
Right, so actually very nice game coming out from Eskinol and Team X. Suzy Soar's team winning that first game of the day. So yeah, Hiron, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that Eskinol was not able to play their team composition.
Right.
Just from the laning phase.
Yeah, since they didn't really get to utilize the Nocturne ult very much, they weren't able to utilize their, the team comp that they had. Yeah,
definitely. Baobei should have stepped up more in terms of the gank, as well as the laners being able to communicate with the jungle. That's extremely important. Crafting your lane so the minion waves are favorable for ganks for you, as well as coordinating for those Nocturne ult dives. That's extremely important, because if Eskinol was able to get like 2 or 3 early kills, they could snowball that into even more dives with the Kennen, with the Rakan, and just straight up destroy the opposing team. But they were not able to materialize that at all at any point in the game. And the experience and the rotations, the game knowledge and the mechanics coming in from Team X just wins the day for them.
Right. So overall, I think that was pretty good for the first game. Very, very fun to watch. Very
explosive.
Yeah, it's a very explosive game. We're going to be taking a break to update brackets and the next game. So you guys, we'll see you in a bit.